This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Righto, let's move over to Rafael Nadal, who's pretty much on the verge of giving away tennis. We know the great man Roger.
I mean,
he had
it's
enough.
inevitable.
Yeah, he is. He's been such a great player. I didn't like him, first of all. How did you feel about Rafa back in the day?
I
Any
always
thoughts?
like Rafa. Yeah,
Always?
I just think he's nice. I think he'd be polite to your parents.
In a lovely Spanish
That's
accent.
I don't know. You just get some people get a good vibe. You always got a hero vibe from
Yeah.
him, which terribly for Novak meant that he gave me the
Yes.
villain vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I found it, Nath, at the time before Novak came,
Yes.
it was everything was Roger, right?
Yeah.
Roger.
And so
Roger
then
was, okay, right.
with
so,
Rafa,
Yeah,
it
so-
kind of like, hey, someone
was
had to
the
be a half of-
anti-Roger, yeah.
So, but over time, you've gone, oh, that was just positioned that way in the beginning.
Yep.
But he has been a champion, no doubt, as we all know, 22 majors and whatever. But he always speaks well. He always does his best, and he bloody tries. He's not a guy that walks off and gets unless he's broken his leg.
And there's a lot of humility about him as well, which I really like, yeah.
But anyway, he's telling everybody that this is going to be his last year coming up.
My goal and my ambition is to try to stop, to give myself an opportunity to enjoy next year. That's probably going to be my last year in a professional tour.
Professional.
Yeah, so he was announcing he's out of the French Open because he's got an injury. And the French is that's the one. Like he's a clay court specialist.
Yes.
So no French. Will he play Wimbledon, do you think?
Oh, it looks like he's going to be out for a few months, and Wimbledon's just around the corner too.
Yeah, so he's out for that. Maybe US.
I don't enjoy the clay court game. It just looks so dirty.
I know, but it's a bit of fun the way they slide into the shots, though.
Kalgoorlie has clay courts there. I've seen the state championships played there.
Kalgoorlie was a gigantic clay court. That's what everything was just red dirt, and that's probably why. It's because I grew up with all red dirt.
Yeah,
and to be honest, most of the courts in Kalgoorlie are bitumen.
I think it makes men's tennis more watchable because they're longer rallies.
They're sliding in
because
all
the ball
time.
bounces. It's a slower game essentially, so they can stay in the rallies for longer. So it's less of a power game, which is good.
Be a lot of nappy sanding afterwards.
Oh
though.
yeah, I mean,
be.
I think they just throw their clothes in the bin and get a new one.
You don't think they wash them?
No. Or maybe if you're a qualifier, you're washing your clothes. But if you're Rafa, you're not washing your
But think
clothes.
about the qualifiers. You know,
Yeah.
They'll be washing their own
Well,
clothes.
they should be
prize
better.
money on White King.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
We had to do that over the weekend.
What? Bleach something?
Lachlan, my oldest, came home. We came home on Saturday night, and he's bought the whole team a North Fremantle jumpers home. We're like, what? Isn't this old school stuff? You know when your mum and dad used to do that stuff?
And
You
that's
hang
when
out
you
on
were a
the lawn and
junior.
everyone gets-
He's playing senior football.
Yeah.
So did he volunteer, or were they just given to him?
Well, I don't know.
Is it a punishment
I think
for
it was
something?
his time. Actually, Harry's got some insight, I believe.
Harry?
Usually, I think it's best on ground. So
If you're the best on ground,
You have to wash
you
the
have to
jumpers.
wash the jumpers.
Yeah, some teams have that set up.
That's a terrible setup. That's no incentive.
So for being the best, you get to wash everyone's filth.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say.
No, that's not how best on ground works. Normally you get
maybe
a
it's
bar
worse.
card
Maybe it's
somewhere.
worse.
You get your bar card
Oh.
and got to wash the jumpers.
What do you have to do if you win the Brownlow?
Okay, in the sporting world, as we know, the big story that broke yesterday with Alistair Clarkson stepping down they don't know how long that he'll be away from the North Melbourne Football Club. It seems the toll it's taken over the last 8 months is too much to bear for him to keep coaching. And everybody around the league, including the AFL, well, I don't know how much the AFL have got involved in it because they're saying it's an independent body who are doing the investigation.
Yeah.
And they would like the independent body to hurry up and get to the bottom of this as well. Look, we can come back to who's going to be a winner or a loser, and I think the answer is nobody, first of all. But here's Jordan Lewis, who played under Alistair Clarkson for 4 premierships.
We're 8 months down the track and Clarkson, Fagan and Jason Burt haven't been interviewed. It's amateur hour. Like these people who were put in place to interview both sides of the situation to get a clearer picture on what actually happened haven't done their job. And there's people still at Hawthorn who have blood on their hands. It is, the more I talk about it, the angrier I get.
Haven't been interviewed?
Yeah, no, that seems... So they've literally done nothing then. What have they actually done?
And so it's
What
just
are they doing?
so
'Cause someone's getting paid for this, by the way.
So this thing's just in limbo.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but
And
in the
there's-
first place,
yes.
from the moment it came out, these people get labelled as racist, and,
Yes.
and if they've said the wrong things, they've got
Yes.
something to answer for.
Yeah.
But in that
then-
period of time, their names are getting smeared
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah, without knowing one way or the other what actually happened.
I
yeah.
tell you what, Alistair taking a step back, for his mental health.
Yeah.
I'm surprised more coaches don't do it. The scrutiny that they go because you hear all the time that
Yeah.
players do these days, and
I think it
and
sets a
everyone's
really
very
good
supportive.
example too
Me
of standing up saying, yeah, no, things aren't going
Yep.
well for me at the moment and I'm going to address those. And if that means stepping aside from my role, then so be it.
Well-
I think that sets a really good example.
We talk about it all the time about how the pressure of, especially around, when your team hasn't been performing,
Yeah.
Adam Simpson will be feeling it right now.
Oh,
And
big
people
time.
are
Yeah,
throwing
big
your
time.
name around. The
Yeah.
stress that would put on you, knowing that
Yeah.
everybody outside of your house and probably
Yeah.
inside of your house is talking about the fact that you might lose your job.
No, it's a really good point. And one thing is that you could probably handle it individually to a level,
Yes.
but it's because it affects your family and your kids are
Yeah.
going to school
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And it's
Yeah.
funny, you mentioned that stress level, Nath, but everybody knows, and probably you don't register it as soon as those guys take that position as a head coach,
Yeah.
watch their hair go great. It
Oh,
happens in a
right. I know.
heartbeat.
God, isn't it
Now,
amazing?
I know, and we know they're paid the big bucks, and you could argue,
Yeah.
that's why they're paid the big bucks. It's like, yeah, but your mental health, can't withstand that. If that is an issue for you, then getting treatment and doing the right thing
Yeah.
is definitely something to stand
And
up
also,
and do.
you don't want to have to constantly go and buy that, the for men hair dye.
Yeah, just for men.
Just
Yeah.
for men. And it comes in 3 colours.
Because every time you do it, it
Man
doesn't come
1,
out
man
the
2,
same.
and man
And
3.
it's always slightly darker than your natural colour, so people
Yeah.
know there's something wrong,
Yeah.
but they can't quite pick it.
The one thing for sure, I believe wholeheartedly, there's nothing going to come out of this because you've got two groups of people that are categorically,
Yes.
one saying this is what happened and the other people are saying this did not happen. So where
Yeah,
do you
where
left
do you
there?
meet there?
You're not
Yeah.
going to find the mediation, whatever you do,
Yeah.
I'm going to agree to disagree with you. So then we're stuck in a place where no one wins. The football world gets tarnished, but more so the individuals on both sides. And everybody has a right to have their time, but they all get the opportunity.
Yeah.
They're all in a bad
I mean, it's the
spot.
nature of those sorts of allegations, though, that it's not done in front of a large number of witnesses. That's the
No.
nature of those sorts of things. So then you go, it's the same with sexual assault. It's a he said, she said kind of thing. But it's like, that doesn't mean, A, that it didn't happen
No,
or
it's true.
necessarily that it did happen.
Yeah,
But it
both
seems
sides.
a weird allegation to make if it didn't happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yeah. And I'm not saying that it happened exactly the way that they said or that there wasn't good intention on one
Yeah,
side
that's
and
right
that
now.
sort of thing. But their perception of what happened, to a degree, it seems a weird allegation to make if none of it's true. It hasn't come out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean?
No, but again, it's a perceptional thing, and I guess if I take it back to what we heard about
Yes.
Buddy Franklin with the booing, and Eddie Betts says,
If you feel it's racist, it's
Yes.
racist.
"There you go."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good luck to Alistair.
Yeah, Chris Fagan.
Yeah, and also put a rocket up this mob who are supposed to be doing the investigation. Just get it done.
Got an interview, 8 months.
Crazy.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.